The air crackled with tension, thick with the scent of scorched metal and alien flora. Korravi stood on a ridge, her silver armor gleaming under the twin suns of Dresh 9. She scanned the dense jungle below through her visor, locking onto thermal signatures. The prey was close, an ancient predator the locals called Vur'Thok, a four-eyed, tusked nightmare born of this world's brutal evolution. Beside her stood the human. Elias Ward didn't wear armor. Just a battered black shirt, torn combat trousers, and makeshift wraps around his knuckles. No weapons. No enhancements. Just himself. "You shouldn't have followed me," Korravi said flatly, her voice modulated through her helmet. "I didn't follow you. I walked ahead," Elias said, not turning his head, still studying the jungle with his bare eyes. "Your plan was stupid." Korravi's mechanical eye twitched behind the visor. "You're unarmed." "I've got these." He lifted his hands. "You'd be surprised what they can do." Korravi considered knocking him unconscious and dragging him back to camp. She didn't need a liability during a Vur'Thok hunt. But the truth was, she had seen Elias fight once, when her dropship had crashed weeks ago. His hands had torn through raiders like they were paper. She'd dismissed it as desperation. Now, she wasn't so sure. Chapter 2, A Monster Awakens. They moved silently through the undergrowth. The deeper they went, the more signs of the beast emerged: crushed trunks, claw marks taller than either of them, pools of black saliva that hissed on the ground. Suddenly, the trees parted. There, in a clearing of broken stone and bone, stood the Vur'Thok. It was worse than the holograms had shown. 12 feet tall. Muscles like woven cables. Fangs the length of forearms. 4 arms, each tipped with claws that shimmered with venom. Korravi raised her plasma rifle. Elias stepped forward, weaponless. "What are you doing?" she hissed. "Don't shoot." The beast roared. And Elias ran. Straight at it. Time slowed as he slid beneath the first claw swipe, vaulted off a rock, and punched the creature square in the throat. The sound was like thunder. The Vur'Thok staggered, just for a second, before it swiped him through the air. Elias hit a tree. Hard. But he got back up. He smiled. Korravi had seen elite soldiers freeze in terror at the sight of such monsters. Elias was laughing. He charged again. Chapter 3, The Fight of Flesh and Fury. The jungle turned into a battlefield. The Vur'Thok lashed out with brutal strength, tearing trees from the ground, snapping them like toothpicks. Elias ducked and weaved, drawing it away from Korravi, who stood frozen, plasma rifle trembling. He wasn't fighting like a soldier. He fought like something primal. Each strike from his fists left cracks in the beast's hide. He drove elbows into joints, kicked knees backward, ripped a fang from the beast's jaw and stabbed it into its neck. And he bled. Gods, did he bleed? The monster caught him once, raking a claw across his ribs. Another blow nearly snapped his leg. But Elias refused to fall. With a scream that shook the treetops, he climbed onto the beast's back, wrapped his arms around its throat, and began to choke it. Slowly, surely, muscles bulging, jaw clenched with feral rage. The Vur'Thok thrashed, roared, clawed at its own neck. It stumbled. It fell. And still, Elias did not let go. Not until the creature stopped moving. Chapter 4, Silence and Revelation. The jungle was deathly still. Even the winds dared not whisper. Elias stood atop the corpse, panting, covered in blood, some his, most not. His left eye was swelling shut. His right arm hung limp at his side. But he smiled through broken teeth. Korravi approached slowly, lowering her weapon. "You killed it," she said, disbelief softening her tone. "With my hands," Elias replied, as if stating he'd picked some berries. "Why?" He looked at her. "Because it was going to kill you. I had it under control." "You're welcome." She removed her helmet. Korravi's skin shimmered blue in the fading light. Scars traced the edge of her jaw. Her eyes, violet and intense, searched his with something new. Not just curiosity. Respect. Chapter 5, The Armor Falls. They returned to camp under a sky of stars. Korravi worked silently, tending to Elias' wounds. Her fingers moved with surgical precision, though she winced every time he groaned. "You're not a soldier," she said quietly. "Not anymore," Elias said. "Used to be." "What happened?" He didn't answer for a long time. "Earth Command left us behind on Zero's Prime. Said we were expendable. I survived. They didn't. And now? Now I fight when it matters." Korravi looked at him for a long time. Then she stood. She unlatched her shoulder guards. Then the chest plate. Piece by piece, she removed her armor, until she stood in the cooling night air in only her underlayers, thin, flexible fabric clinging to her battle-scarred form. "I've worn this armor since I was 10, she said. "I was raised to be a weapon." "Is that what you want to be?" Her gaze met his. "Not anymore." They stood like that, silence stretching between them like a bridge. And then, for the first time since they met, Korravi smiled. A real smile. "You're insane," she said. "And you're beautiful when you're not glaring at me," Elias said. Chapter 6. What Comes After. Days passed. The jungle seemed quieter now, as if the fall of the Vur'Thok had settled an ancient curse. Elias taught Korravi how to fight without armor, how to move like him, with raw instinct and muscle. She was fast, deadly, but rigid. He broke her of that. She taught him how to navigate by star mapping, how to dismantle traps and hack old relics left by the ancients. They became something more than allies. One night, under a canopy of alien constellations, she asked, "When you fought the beast, did you think you'd die?" "Yeah." "Then why do it?" He hesitated. "Because you were worth it." She looked away, then back again. "You don't know me." "I know enough." She kissed him. Chapter 7. The Return. Their mission complete, they returned to the outpost. The Vur'Thok's hide was proof enough for the bounty, but the real change wasn't the reward. It was how they walked now. Together. The others stared. A human, covered in scars, walking beside a warrior of Chiron, her armor gone, replaced by a leather jacket he'd patched for her. Whispers followed them. About the human who killed a monster with his bare hands. About the alien warrior who removed her armor for him. But neither cared. They weren't soldiers anymore. They were something better. Epilogue, a name etched in legend. Years later, in the stories passed through systems and cantinas, they spoke of the human who brought down a nightmare with nothing but his fists, and the armored alien who shed her shell not for surrender, but for love. Some said it was fiction. Others swore they saw them, still wandering, still fighting, still together. And always, the story ended the same way. He killed the monster with his hands, and then she removed her armor.